everyone, so first video review for this week is for Beyond the Checkpoint by Addison M. Conley. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I have just posted that the other day. So that if you are on Facebook or on my blog, there is a link within the post to the review, and if you're on YouTube, there is a link in the description below. And this is the video review. So Beyond the Checkpoint by Addison M. Conley. What an emotional and heartfelt journey this story was. It basically follows the story of Ali, who works as a civilian for an agency, and she's involved in military operations in war-torn sort of countries like Afghanistan, and she finds herself on a mission with Officer Lynn Stewart, who is part of the armed forces and follows a very military regimented lifestyle and rules that come with the army. So their perceptions and careers, they're kind of different, and discreetly they have this sort of friendship that turns into something a little bit more intimate. But again, they have to be sort of discreet with it. So the story sort of follows the ups and downs of their relationship over a number of years, which is sort of separated into 3 parts. And it sort of shows the true conflicts of interest and the difficulties that come with not only the strict regimental rules of the armed forces and relationships, but also the complications that come with love and same-sex relationships within the armed forces at that time. And obviously the heartache and everything that surrounds the experience sort of after and during being in sort of war-torn countries and serving for your own country. So it's kind of a second chance romance, I guess, because of the period, the sort of period it's over, the time scale of the 10 years or so that it runs for. And I was impressed by the way it really covered a long period of time as a story, but it still kept you intrigued as a reader. It had a lot to cram in, it had a lot of information to give you and a lot of story to tell you, and each sort of passing of time needed to really grip you and keep you interested, which Addison did really, really well in giving you the detail that you need for to understand how the story came to be, so like how everything was complicated in the way it was. But it was really developmental as a story, I guess, because it had a lot to cover, and it gave really good insight into the disastrous sort of state of countries following and during war as well. I really adored how it gave that detail, and it was really well researched, actually, and I could really learn something from sort of the moral and heartfelt, you know, that's just how it was, you know, you whilst it affected the characters' lives, it also sort of affected you as a reader, because they were affected by what was going on around them, and you were then feeling that effect as a reader. So it had a nice balance of adventure to romance, and it added sort of, the romance sort of added the relief to the more action intense parts, sort of, and balanced it out. But obviously romance isn't without drama, and that drama was still present, so that was really, really good. It was, like I say, very much second chance because of the time span and the sort of on-off relationship that Ali and Lynn had during that time. But there's something about the story. It almost had a memoir feel. It gave it quite a bit of depth, and it really heightened the story. Even though it had that memoir feel, it was really heightened by drama and great twists in the plot and everything. It really was a great story. There was a bit of military jargon. So I'm not overly familiar with the military, but I think it took a moment to process and understand that sometimes. But Addison, again, did a really good job of giving you, as the reader, the information that you needed to understand. And she had to use, obviously, that military terms. As a story won't make sense, military story, so it has to be in there. And again, it was that educational feel. It gave you something to learn, which was, again, really, really nice. It's always great to pick up a book and just feel like you are also learning something about something that you don't particularly know a lot about. It's just really good to see that research and knowledge being put in there as well, and give you more detailed scenes, I suppose, but you needed that information, you needed to understand it, so it had to be in there just because of the basis of the story. But I really liked it. It didn't affect it for me. It just, like I say, was a learning experience, and it gave me something else to focus on. But Ali and Lynn, you know, they have this really great relationship, even when it was on and off, because it was very, very realistic. There's something about, you know, no one's relationship is perfect, and you will have these ups and downs, and especially when you've had careers like Ali and Lynn have had. To have a career like that, it affects you in so many ways, what you see, what you experience, what you feel, and it will affect your personal circumstances, your personal relationships, your behaviour, your actions, everything. And I think the portrayal of that was very realistic and very relatable, and Addison did a really good job of giving you that character insight using their actions and thoughts and feelings, but yeah, making it really realistic, because she used the story's premise, the action of the being in the war zones and the experiences, the traumatic events that have affected the characters, not only whilst being at war, but also their pasts, things that have happened to them, using all of that to really build a very realistic example of a relationship that has had conflicts of interest and pressures put on it from other circumstances that are probably beyond the person's control. You can't always control PTSD or traumatic after events of things. You will be affected by them, and you can't always control what that does to you as a person. And I think that was really important in here. It was really built in well, and it gave a good moral to the story. So I really enjoyed this story. I think it was really good, and it's a great story for you to read if you're interested in romance, but with some action and depth and drama and more emotion to the story, that makes it a very realistic and relatable read. I really enjoyed it. So I'll pop a link in the description so that you can go and grab a copy of Beyond the Checkpoint by Addison M. Conley. Hope you will. If you've read Beyond the Checkpoint, please let me know what you thought of it. Please comment below. How did you find the story? Let me know what you thought of it. If you haven't read it yet, if you're interested in reading it, planning to read it, or if it's on your to read list, again, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know that that's on there. And if you do read it, I really hope you enjoy it. Bye.